came back 23 years ago to study, and then at that time Saddam Hussein decided to invade Kuwait, and my parents were living in Kuwait. My father was a physician, and it was an awful, awful time for me. It was awful, and I was doing a part-time job at the Museum of Mankind. There was an exhibition there called the Palestinian Exhibition about all the costumes that the British Mandate acquired during the rule, the British Mandate rule in Palestine. And I was responsible for the Saturday workshops, singing workshops. In fact, I met one of my students today, who's a young man by the name of Simon. He's Sut's son, but Simon didn't remember him. But I still have a painting by him. Because Valma, this lady would come with this Lada car, loaded with the neighborhood's children. You all know the Lada with labor on it. And there was no internet then. How did she find that recipe? She had that fantastic recipe of semolina cake that Palestinian mothers do. And she would come every Saturday with a huge semolina cake. Very proud that she had learned recipe, a Palestinian recipe. And she became, like this is my mother, and inseparable. She took me to these amazing places. And she taught me also as a Palestinian that there is no such thing as the ultimate victim. She introduced me to so many other causes. Oh, we're the only ones who... And it was none of that. I mean, she introduced me to so many causes, I just can't count them. In fact, I'm pretty cross with her that she didn't introduce me to this place. She used to take me to the Museum of Gardens, Horniman Museum. That was... She christened my experience there with Horniman Museum, with so many other causes. And when my parents came to visit, my mother cooked a meal and invited me to say thank you. And my father, being a flirtatious man, he still is flirtatious at age 87. He just looked at her with this heavy Arabic accent and he said, if you are this beautiful now, I would like to know how well you looked 30 years ago. And she said, oh, you made my day. And he told her, you hang around and I'll make your night. And what was her expression? You cheeky devil. I'm sure you've heard her say cheeky devil so many times. She spent her 70th birthday with me when I was very ill in hospital in 1997. She waltzed in with her birthday cake to the hospital and she said, I'm coming to celebrate my 70th birthday with you. I can't say enough about Valma. My only regret is that in the last 2 years, in fact 2.5 years, I haven't been around for her. I was studying in Egypt. And I spoke to her just before flying to Egypt. It was before revolution. And I could tell it wasn't the Valma that we know. I mean, she didn't know who I was. Then I tried to remind her who I was. The only way was to sing to her. And oh yes, you will come. Straight away, as soon as I sang. And this the same thing happened at hospital just before she died. Then I went off to Egypt. I was studying there, and then the revolution happened. And I kept on thinking, my God, Valma will be so proud. Valma, I could see her drive through Tahrir Square with her Lada. Wearing a badge. This time, free Egypt, not free Palestine. And I could see her curse Hosni Mubarak the way she cursed Dane Porter when we were shopping at Tesco's once against her. And she was so upset that we had to go away. There was no other place. And I was apologizing to the lady at the till, saying, I'm sorry, she doesn't like the lady that owns it. She is no lady! Loudly. And then I received an email from one Jane Hager, whom I've always heard about, like Nikki, we never met, when I was in Egypt, telling me how ill Valma had been. And thank you so much, because until then, I didn't know where she was. It was scary. And I managed. I was very privileged, very lucky to see her twice before she passed. The first time was wonderful. She did, for a short time, allow me to give her these naughty jokes and to slag off the people that she always loved slagging. Everyone against her causes. Only bad people, I promise you. And I sang to her, and it was fantastic. The second time I went to see her, she wasn't that good. And I just left the room and I said, Valma, I love you very much. And she said, thank you very much. And I went straight to sleep. So that's my short, I think I don't need to sing now. She always, I always told her, why do you like my singing? It's wrist slashing, it's very sad. And she said, that's why I like it. And she always smiled when I sang. So I will just share with you a little Palestinian song that people sing when they say goodbye to their loved ones. So it's quite suitable. Now, the original context of this song is that your loved one is alive. You're parting, you're saying goodbye, but you don't know if you're coming back. So it's not a mourning song. It's not a song you sing when someone had died. And that's why I chose this song instead, a song that you will just sing when you say goodbye to your loved ones, because I think there is Valma in each and every one of us. And every time I spoke to someone today, that was a bit of Valma. So she's very much still with us and probably complaining that I talk too much and I should get on
والحبر سلطاني لأكتب مكاتب يما عاللي راح وما جاي. سبع جمال الحمد لله فزتوا وبنتوا يما ومن طلع سنك ونامي يا عيني نامي يا عيني ويا شنارة بالله يما سبع الجمال بحمد الله فزتوا وبنتوا يما ومن طلع
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've all got a glass or access to one. The toast is to Valma.
Thanks very much, everybody. We're now going to have more chat